You know, most people who aren't Italian have had some version of the most sort of famous Italian foods. Maybe not everyone has had a pizza in Naples, but they've had some kind of pizza. Who hasn't had a lasagna? Who hasn't had a carbonara, even if it had peas in it? You had something called a carbonara, right? There's one Italian dish that I feel like is pretty famous, even amongst non-Italians. If you watch movies about, you know, I don't know, gangsters in New York City, you'll hear about it all the time. So I feel like people have heard this word. The dish is braciole. I think Italian Americans pronounce it like braciole or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, play the braciole.
But in Italian it's called braciole. But I don't think a lot of people, unless you're Italian or of Italian descent, I don't think very many people have actually tried it. In essence, a braciola is a sort of rolled up meat, little mini meat burrito stuffed with things and then cooked in other things. One thing I've learned after many years of eating lots of braciole is that they're all really good, assuming you follow a few basic principles when making them, but some of them are extraordinary. So here's what we're going to do today. First, Ava is going to give a refresher on how to make what I'm calling today the basic braciola. There's nothing really basic about it. It's amazing. It will serve you a lifetime of Sunday lunches. But it's gonna seem pretty basic once we get to the more advanced recipe. That's where we're gonna explore what I think is the best braciola recipe on planet Earth. I didn't say easiest, I didn't say quickest, I didn't say healthiest. I said best.
Here we have a plate full of pork meat. We decided to use for our braciole slice of pork meat that we cut from the
Shoulder.
pork shoulder, but feel free, if you don't like pork, to use veal, beef, or whatever meat you like. As you can see, we need a cut of meat that is more or less thin, but now we are going to make it more thin. And to make it thinner, what we are going to do is, with a piece of parchment paper and what we call in Italian batticarne, but I don't know how do you call this in English.
Meat tenderizer.
Perfect. We start to...
Don't say it.
No, I'm not saying, I'm just showing. Beat the meat. So you need a slice of meat that is thin like that. And right now I'm going to do all the rest of the meat. As you can see, this is a big piece of meat. So what I'm going to do now is cut this in half to have a braciola that for me has it has a good size. Keep in mind that if you want to make a braciola that is big like this piece of meat, you can also do it because the size is more or less up to you.
So you can kind of do them whatever size you want.
See, it's obvious that you can't do a braciola big like that. Usually they are things like that. Now is the moment in which we can stuff our braciole. Today we are going to put inside few simple ingredients such as garlic, pecorino cheese, parsley, black olives, salt and pepper. Then there are also other versions of braciole where you can use breadcrumb, you can use raisins, you can use pine nuts, wherever you like the most.
But don't skip the cheese.
No, don't skip the cheese.
Never skip the cheese.
That is mandatory. It's very important to understand that when you make braciole, you don't measure anything because every piece of meat will be different. So use your judgment, use your taste and put inside as much as you want of the ingredients. The only thing to keep in mind is that you need to be able to close them, to leave a little bit of space here so you can actually fold and then roll. Here we need the cooking string to close our braciole. But before, what we need to do is, like you do with a burrito, close one side, close the other side, and then roll it.
Perfect. Perfect.
So our surprise special guest.
So what I'm going to do here is place the braciola like that. Then
So that now they're pulling in the opposite direction.
Then do this.
So you plant your finger there, wrap the string around, and then thread it under the string again.
And now when I pull this, what I need to do is flip the braciola, and then we can tie it.
Tie it.
And this is the result.
As you're probably picking up by now, braciole are a food that it's really done visually. Everything is to eye, everything is to taste, which is why I strongly encourage you to try making them without a recipe. Once you just sort of see how they're made, it's very easy to replicate and adapt with what you have, how many you want to cook, etc. If you really desperately want an excellent braciole recipe, we do have one in our cookbook. I'll put a link down below. As much as we would love for you to go buy a copy, I do just need to mention that this is the kind of dish where you really don't need a recipe to make them. Now that the braciole are formed, it's time to start cooking them. I like my braciole when they are super, super soft and tender, just like how I like my mattress. Yes, before Eva cooks the braciole, I'd like to tell you about today's video sponsor, Helix. Helix Sleep provides premium mattresses customized to your needs and shipped conveniently to your door. Life is too short to sleep on a mattress that isn't perfect for you. That's why you should go take the Helix Sleep Quiz. In just a few minutes, they'll find the perfect mattress for you based on your body and your preferences. Everybody is different. Maybe you sleep on your side, maybe you sleep on your back, maybe you need a firm mattress, maybe you need a softer mattress. There's simply no reason to not take these factors into account when you buy a mattress. Going into a mattress store and just plopping down on one for 5 seconds when you're not even trying to sleep is not the best way to find the right mattress. Then they ship it right to your door. You don't need to arrange delivery with a truck or anything. It just comes rolled up in a box. You cut it open, it self-inflates, you're ready to go. Ava and I took the quiz and we were paired with a Dawn Luxe mattress. Plus I got the Glacio Tex cooling cover, which I really need because I tend to sleep hot. It is amazing, keeps you cool all night long. I do need to warn you, the dangerous part about Helix mattresses is that they're really, really comfortable, which doesn't sound like a problem, but you're gonna want to start doing everything in bed. A lot of mattress brands use harmful fiberglass products in their mattresses, but Helix mattresses are completely fiberglass free. Just in case you don't have the same experience as us and you don't like the mattress, you don't need to worry because each mattress comes with a 100-night sleep trial. That means you get more than 3 months to make sure that it's perfect for you. Plus, it comes with a 10-year warranty. There are financing options and flexible payment plans available, so a great night's sleep is never far away. We love our Helix mattress and we think you will too. Go check out Helix's Black Friday sale, which is running for a limited time right now. They're offering 27% off your mattress purchase, plus 2 free pillows, and receive a free bedding bundle with your Luxe or Elite order. A big thank you to Helix for sponsoring today's video.
Now is the moment in which we need to cook our braciole, and we are going to cook them in a normal tomato sauce. So we need some olive oil, and for some I mean some olive oil. Now we turn on the heat at maximum because at the beginning we need to sear the meat.
Sear the meat?
Sear the meat. We start to cook the braciole, trying to flip them and make all the sides brown. Once the meat is brown, we add a little bit of white wine, or if you prefer, also red wine. We lower the heat and let the meat with the wine simmer until the smell of alcohol is completely evaporated. And then we add the tomatoes. I will use whole peeled tomatoes. They don't need to be completely mashed. I'm just breaking them a little bit with the scissor to help them to dissolve during the cooking. I'm going to add also a little bit of tomato paste. Of course, we salt the sauce, and now I'm going to add a little bit of basil. We bring the meat to a simmer, the pot to a simmer. We partially cover it, and we let it cook for about 2 hours or until it's done.
And when is it done?
When it will be ready. I will show you how they are done. As you can see, our braciole are ready, and you understand because they are very, very tender. The sauce looks shiny, like a very good ragù. When all this is in your pot, all these details are in your pot, it means that your braciole are ready to be enjoyed.
Now, it's no secret that my favorite Sunday lunch dish, meaning that sort of, once a week, special occasion sort of dish, is ragù. The only thing that makes a ragù better is when there's braciole in it, because that's worth mentioning, is that braciole, okay, you can cook them here sort of to serve by themselves, but you can also incorporate them as part of the meat in a southern style ragù.
And it gives to the ragù a much more special flavor, deep flavor.
Yeah.
It makes the ragù even better.
And then once you eat the pasta with the ragù sauce, then when they bring the meat out, it's always the braciole as the plate's being passed around that it's gone first. Yeah. Also worth mentioning, this is probably obvious, but do warn your guests, if you have guests over and you make braciole for them, that you do have to cut the string.
See, don't eat the string because that is not edible.
Would you like the first bite?
I can't wait. So.
Yeah.
I have to start cutting it, and you're already.
This is my braciole grunge.
Buon appetito.
Buon appetito. Oh, it's like being back in your parents' kitchen in Dessau on a Sunday afternoon.
So you need to understand that, okay, the pork meat is already amazing. But then when you add and cheese and olives and garlic and parsley, it has, can I describe, a much more complete taste.
And it does something very different than if you just cooked meat in a sauce with, say, olives and the kind of ingredients that would go in. It doesn't work because what this does is it keeps those contained so that then you can cook a ragù, but then you have that stuff inside. It's kind of a strange food, but
it's so good.
But it's so amazing.
So good.
As amazing as these are, the best braciole I have ever had in my life were not made by Eva. They were made by someone else. And I think you would agree with me on that.
Absolutely.
We are very lucky because today we happen to have him here. Shall we introduce our special guest to show us how he makes his over-the-top braciole?
I can't wait to introduce you our special guest.
Così.
So, our special guest today is my dad. He's already trying to understand how to cut the braciole. Papà, vuoi salutare?
Buongiorno.
Good morning. This is a piece of pork skin because traditionally the real braciole, at least in Calabria, they were made with pork skin. And those are also my dad's favorite braciole.
Qui. Incomincia a tagliare.
Dove taglio?
E deve almeno tre strisce.
3 strisce.
Taglia così,
A metà.
a metà, sì.
The butcher where we went, it had just this pork skin. And as you can see, it has some meat on, which means that when I try to roll it, as you can see, it doesn't really close. So what I'm going to do is take out this meat. If you find just pork skin, much better. If you don't find, do like I'm doing now. E adesso, come prima.
Come prima, sì. Mettere i vari aromi, un po' di sale,
Pepe nero.
aglio, pepe nero,
Prezzemolo.
prezzemolo. Chiudere poi tipo braciola, a braciola.
We will close it in the same way. The only thing that we can't do because the skin is not very flexible, we can't close like a burrito. So what we are going to do is just roll it. Va bene?
Sì,
Already using the pork skin instead of just normal meat makes your braciole even better. But we are just starting now because what makes those braciole better than just being with the skin is the way in which we are going to cook them. Because nothing can make better.
Nothing can make them better than lard. Lots and lots of lard.
Papà, adesso che facciamo?
facciamo sciogliere il grasso del maiale,
We
il
melt
maiale
the pork fat.
e poi incominciare a friggere.
I also just want to point out for the viewers at home that frying these braciole in lard is literally only the beginning of this. There is more to come.
Basta così.
Papà, devono friggere.
Friggere, certo,
Che la temperatura del grasso deve essere a livello di frittura.
di frittura, sì.
Deep fried pork skin in lard. Ne mangi una volta all'anno.
Pure una volta a settimana.
These must be why your dad is so fat.
Actually, yes, looking at him, maybe you can understand that his theory maybe works. When your braciole will look like that, we can remove from the fat.
Adesso li lasciamo con un po' di sale.
Quindi sale quanto?
Metti. Ancora. Metti un poco. Girali. Metti un po' di sale, su.
Ancora?
Un altro po'. No, è che se cade sono per conservazione.
Ancora?
No, basta così. Mo piglio il boccaggio.
This is a big glass jar and you need one that has this, so you're sure that when you close is completely closed. It's so closed that you can't open. And these we need because we are going to preserve them. We are not going to eat them, not yet. And we are going to preserve them in a way that will make them aged over time. So at the end they will be much better than they are now.
Un sale. Braciola sopra.
So salt on the bottom.
Salt in the bottom.
You put them all in.
Then you put the bracciole in.
Can they be stacked on top of each other?
Possono andare una sopra l'altra?
Sì.
So you could fill that jar.
Sì, we have just 6, but if you are planning to save them for all the winter, yes.
Mettere ancora un po' di sale, tenendo conto che quando si cucinano di non mettere sale. Ok, basta. Adesso bisogna prendere il grasso e coprirli
Completamente di grasso.
completamente.
They need to be all completely covered in fat, which means that if the fat in which you fried them is not enough, you need to melt more fat and add it.
This is the point where everyone at home thinks that this is an April Fool's joke or something.
No, this is not an April Fool's joke. It's real.
Mo ammudarsi aperto il quaglia, il grasso. Prima di chiuderlo ermeticamente ci metti un po' di sale sul grasso. Dopodiché i conservi. È tipo mangiare pure il periodo estivo, con chi vuoi, o fa su, qualsiasi cosa.
And you can store them in a cool place. So it needs to be a cool place.
But it doesn't need to be refrigerated.
No, this is the way in which they preserved back in the past. Also when they didn't have the refrigerator. And you keep them, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years.
And so the longer you leave it, the better they taste. Now, obviously, we want to try these, so I don't think we're gonna wait a year, but maybe we can compromise and come back in a couple days to try them.
We will.
Oh, yes.
Few days later, as you can see, the fat has solidified. When the fat is completely solid, I put a lot of salt on top because this salt
It helps preserve the fat.
So the first step is to remove some of the fat. In this case, I'm cooking all of them. But if it happens that you made more than I made, what you need to do is keep covering the leftover bracciole in the fat.
So like you would take out what you want to cook
See?
and then just spread the fat
spread
back over.
That they are all covered completely in lard. I'm going to cook those bracciole as I cooked the other ones. The only difference is that at the beginning I'm not going to put any olive oil because as you can see there is plenty of lard and this should be enough fat for our sauce. Another important thing is that you need to be careful this time using the salt because if you saw us making those bracciole, you understand how much salt there is. So they are already well salted. Arper, are you excited?
Very excited. I wish we had like a year to let these age, but
We will do more and we will wait a year.
this was cool to see the process of making it because I've never actually seen that. Because your dad will make them like once a year, but then on special occasions he'll pull them out. So I've seen this part, but I never actually got to see them being made. Even if you make the normal bracciole, if you want to take them at least a little bit over the top, definitely can't recommend pork skin enough. Buon appetito.
It's the pork skin, it's the fat that makes everything better. They are soft, flavorful.
Yeah.
And even if it's pork skin, actually the taste is very delicate.
You would think that this would feel very, very heavy compared to the others, but it actually doesn't.
Absolutely not.
And the normal bracciole, they're so good as it is. it's hard to imagine how much better it can be.
Now, those are better.
Yes.
Those are better. They're so soft, so tender.
I'm on board with the Papa Turi diet.
You eat this
Eat
once
this
a week.
once a week.
And then you will be skinny as him.
All right, well, we should go because we've got some big glass jars to fill
With other
more
braciole.
braciole, because if we're gonna age them a year, we need to get started. Speaking of amazing Italian pork dishes, a quick shout out to Cody, who made pampanella.
If you don't know what pampanella is, you can watch the video about pampanella that we made some weeks ago.
If you want to become a Pasta Grammarian, just hit that subscribe button. Follow us on social media at Pasta Grammar. And if you try making braciole at home, whether they are the super delicious but basic version of braciole, or if you go all out, especially, and make Papa Turi's braciole, please tag us in a picture on Instagram or Facebook at Pasta Grammar. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Ciao.
Ok,